Okay, here we go. I am making sure that we are live on all the right things. Connect streaming software to go live. This one should be good. Cool. Working on Instagram, I see. Which means my microphone works, so that's cool. What's up, guys? Doing a live walkthrough of the new and improved Manful Yoga app and members area. Follow along here if you'd like. manflowyoga.tv. All right, so that's what's going on here. Pin comment. All right, I'm gonna go make sure that this is working everywhere else. Okay, let's see here. View on website. This is where I get to have like 15 different tabs open, and I'm making sure that everything is working. What's up, Sam? Hello in the members area. So now we're getting to that part, making sure that that is working. By the way, if anything is not working, let me know because I can only check so many platforms at once. So I'm going through, we've confirmed that the members area is working. I'm going to check, checking Facebook. Instagram is working. Looks like I'm live on my personal Facebook, so that's cool. I don't even know if anybody watched that last time, but yep, no one watched that last time on my personal Facebook, which is okay. Manflow Yoga Facebook page. Let's check in there. Manflow Yoga. Manflow Yoga. Manflow Yoga. All right, there it is. Okay, this is live. All right, cool. All right, looks like I am live there, and total of 1 viewer means I'm watching. Oh no, there's 2. All right, you guys are checking in on Facebook too. All right, cool. So I'm gonna get out of there. Go back to the home page. All right, so Instagram, yes, you guys are working. Hello from Las Vegas. All right, and of course, last but certainly not least, let's go check out the YouTube channel and make sure that this is working over there. Yep. All right. Looks like we are working over there. So, suggestions. David, any suggestions for just starting out 70 and getting into yoga? Yes, you should try Manful Yoga and start with my Absolute Beginners program. Sign up, manfulyoga.com/join, and you can follow along to the walkthrough that I'm doing here as well. Russell, hey Russell, what's up, Anthony? Celio Cavalcante. Boa tarde, Dean. É prazer falar com você. Is that Portuguese or Italian? É prazer. I think that's a Portuguese. I'm learning Italian right now. Anyways. All right. Cool. Afternoon. All right, we've got people. Hey, Joseph, Alan's here, Herman, William, Matt, David, Josh, Barry, James. All right, so we got a lot of people in here. Cool. So I'm going to go back to the page that I can see myself talking, and I'll start here. So basically, guys, I'm going to be going through a tour of the new and improved members area. We've had this, we've had the members area since 2016, so this is nothing new, but this is probably the, I don't want to count it, but I guess this is probably the 3rd or 4th big change to the members area. There were a few reasons for this change. The main reason is because now everything is on one platform. So anything that you do in one platform is reflected in the other. And that was the big reason for this change. The change means that we shifted from one platform to another platform. So before we were using multiple services. Now we're using one service. That also meant that we had to choose between certain features. We couldn't hand pick each feature. Basically, it was option: do we choose platform A with these options, or would you choose platform B with these options? So I know a lot of people have been asking for very specific features, specific changes, and that's something that we can pass on to our developers and ask for, but that's not something that we can do ourselves. So I just wanted to say that. But we do know what the majority of the confusion is so far, which is really based around things that you used to do in the previous members area versus how do you do that now. And I am going to walk you through that in this video. So I'm also going to be doing another one of these on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. So Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time, March 28th. And then you can always watch recorded versions of these as well. So if you're watching live, awesome. But if you want to watch the recorded version, then you can do that. It'll be in the members area. It'll also be on Facebook and on YouTube. Yeah. So there we go. All right. So all right, so already got some questions, already got some feedback, and I'm going to address that. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to show you the app, and then we're going to be able to walk through it. All right, so this is what the new app looks like, new and improved. So you're going to have featured videos here at the top. This is a new video that we just put out, a 2-minute guide to start Manful Yoga. We had a lot of videos to guide you through Manful Yoga and get started before, but it was kind of overwhelming, honestly, for most people. So this one starts with just a 2-minute video. That's it. You watch 2 minutes and you know everything you need to do to get started. And then we'll also put featured things at the top here. So we've got a challenge happening next month. So that's in here, featuring this update because this is the walkthrough of everything. And also want to let you know about events for 2025. We are doing, I've got some events coming up in Austin in May. I'm going to be in Los Angeles, June 7th, June 8th, and we're looking at DC for fall. I'm also going to be at the Fit Father Project live event in Phoenix, August 29th to 31st. So, all right, so let's go through the rows first. So first off, at the top here, you're going to see this this search videos, right? So this is your search. So let's say we're working for core strength workouts, right? So I'm going to type core strength, and then I'll go over here, show filters, and I can choose what I want to find. If I want to look for programs within the beginner's path, then I would click get started beginner's path, right? So that'll pull up core strength where it shows up there. If I wanted to do this search for workouts, I'm going to click all workouts. And then I could filter further by skill level, do basic, intermediate, or advanced. Let's do intermediate. And let's say I want a nice 30-minute workout. So I'm going to select that. And then intensity-wise, let's say I want a high-intensity workout. I'll choose 4. And then that helps narrow it down. So that's how the search filters work. And then we'll click Browse to go back. And then going further down, the continue watching, this is a new one for most people. This is pretty helpful because it allows you to pick back up where you left off. So any video that you watch 15 seconds of but don't finish, that will show up in here. So as long as you watch more than 15 seconds but less than 90% of a video, it will show up in here. So this is a good way to help keep track of things. We have some people who have some trouble keeping track of their workouts right now. So one thing that you could do using this continue watching tab is, let's say that you're following along to a program, right? So I'm going to go into beginner's fundamentals because that's a really common beginner program. So I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to scroll to, let's say I'm doing the 3rd workout. All right, so I'm doing workout number 3. Cool. And then let's just say I get to the end of the workout, right? Let's say I watch the whole workout, and then okay, so what happened is it started playing the new video automatically, and that's what I want. So if I toggle this to autoplay, that means that's just going to keep playing even when the video ends. So what happens when it gets to the end of the video, I'm going to say, hey, good job today. Good job doing your workout, give you the outro. But then if you start this video and you watch it for 15 seconds, right? So da na na da 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 na 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 na. Na, 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 na. All right, there's 15 seconds. And then if I go back to browse, it should show up in my continue watching. Oh, I did it wrong. All right, well, there you go. Anyways, so it should show up here. I don't know what I did wrong, but I rarely do things right when it comes to technology. So, anyways, point is, if you watch a video for a short amount of time, it should show up here. I wonder if I refresh the page. What happens if I refresh the page? Will it show up then? No. All right. So, anyways, that's where continue watching shows up. So that could be a good way for you to use this. And going further down, we've got favorites. So favorites and continue watching, those are going to be specific to you. You can add anything to your favorites by going into any item. And then below that, you're going to see some buttons here. You can add to calendar. You can add to favorites. You can also, there's a new one here that's marked as watch. So you can do that. Anyways, so this is where you can add to favorites or add to calendar. Add to calendar on your computer is pretty cool because you can add it to your smart calendar. So you see Google, Apple, Outlook. So if you want to add it to your smart calendar, and that way you can control the event a little bit more. But you also have an in-app calendar here, which is pretty cool. So add to my calendar within the app. Choose the date that you wanted to show. Let's say I want to do this on March 28th. Add to my calendar. And then if I go into my calendar, it's going to show up on March 28th right there. And if I want to mark it completed, I'm just going to hit complete video. And if I don't want it on the calendar, I'm going to click remove from calendar like that. So, and I'll go through some of the calendar stuff later, but basically calendars previously were only for your workouts. The calendar now also allows us to talk about other Manflow Yoga related things. So, you see that I've got this live going on right now, March 25th, 4 p.m. I've also got a live going on the 27th and on the 28th. So this is where you can go to find live events. If we've got newly released content, you're going to see that show up on the calendar as well. So we just have a little bit more functionality with this calendar, which is nice. So, all right, let's get back to the homepage. So we've got favorites, we've got continue watching. Further down, we've got the get started and beginner's path. So this is where we recommend everybody gets started. So this is your first Manflow Yoga workout, right? We even put a big sign on it right here. So everyone who's new to yoga, whether you're new to yoga or not new to yoga, if you're new to Manflow Yoga, we recommend that you start here. So you're going to open up this video, watch the video, and you would go from there. So, yeah. So there's your first workout. And again, you've got these options down here. On the video player itself, also, you've got pause, you've got forward, backward, just adjust the volume. You have subtitles, you can turn those on. There's settings. You can speed up the video if you wanted to go faster. There's a quality option, so you can choose quality, picture in picture, just makes it look, a little different. And then full screen as well. So lots of options in here. And then if you're doing this on your phone, you're going to have the casting options that show up here as well. There are a bit more. So I'm keep in mind that I'm doing this on the computer right now. So the functionality here, there's a bit more functionality on the app. So we'd recommend using the mobile app if you want to get the most stuff out of this. Something that's new, that's cool, that I would recommend checking out. There's a note feature. So you can actually keep private notes for yourself on the workout. So you could say like, okay, did this workout pretty hard. Looking forward to trying it again. Right. So I can add that in, and then it'll give me a date for this. So let's say you're just, let's say you want to keep track of the workouts that you do. You can put these in your notes section. And then if you go into your account, it's not, for some reason, not showing up in here. I want to see what happens if I go in here. Oh, notes. Okay, so if you go into your account, you can click notes, and then it'll show up there. So you can actually keep track of your notes. And if you want to keep track of your workouts, then you could do it like that as well. So that's just another option for you. So, for example, let's say I'm doing this core 4 for absolute beginners workout. And then let's say I want to leave a note for it, testing. Okay, completed this workout today in the morning, was challenging. Boat pose was hard, right? So you could take little notes for yourself. And then when you wanted to look at the workouts that you do, you could go into your account, just click your email address and your name up here in the corner, and then go over to notes from there. And then you're going to see those notes show up. So that is pretty cool. That's one way that you can keep track of your workouts. All right, so let's go back to the homepage and keep going down. So get started in beginner's path. So this is something that we've updated. So, the question is sometimes, well, how do I go? Which programs do I start with? What's the order? So we have that all right here. So the get started and beginner's path. This is where we recommend everybody get started. Here's your first workout. And then from there, you just go on to the next one. Go on to absolute beginners, from absolute beginners on to beginner's fundamentals, and so on. So we have a few new programs that we've launched within the last month. These Explorer series are new. These are pretty cool. A lot more variety in these programs than some of our other programs. These are meant to be more kind of like 28-day challenges, one video per day, but some of the videos are short, some of the videos are longer. So a lot of good variety in these. I also want to highlight some of um, the functionality in the programs and some of the updates here. So I'm just going to use absolute beginners because this is the one that we recommend everyone gets started with. So something that we did is we updated the descriptions pretty significantly here. So before we had much longer descriptions, and these ones we've put all the most important information is at the top. So you're going to see a quick sentence describing the program. You're going to have the accountability emails here. Every program that we have comes with accountability emails. So if you want to sign up for emails that help keep you on track, that you get delivered to your inbox on days you have workouts, you can do this. Highly recommend using that. And then there's some other basic program info here, required tools, the skill level, intensity, amount of time per day, and then how many days per week. And then below that, you're also going to have the progression. So this tells you how to complete the program. Some of the programs are really basic in the sense that you just do workouts 1 through 7 and you repeat 4 times. But some of them are a little bit, I won't say complex, but I will say you just have to like actually read the progression to understand how they work. Some of them are broken up into phases where you have to do like the first phase 2 or 3 times and do each workout in that phase 2 or 3 times before moving on to the next phase. So just good to have all this information right at the top. So that's the programs. We also have these resources here. So this is nice to have. There's just a more in-depth explanation. There's also a printable tracking sheet if you want to print up a tracking sheet and just use that to hold yourself accountable. And there's some other stuff in here that you might want to use. And then going down, you're going to find the workouts in this. You're going to find the workouts in this, the wrap-up video, what to do when you're done, that kind of stuff. And so let's just open up this video just for fun. So what's going to happen here is you're going to see the video, but again, you can toggle on that autoplay if you wanted to keep going, and ideally the workouts show up and continue watching when you're finished. We also have the ability to mark these watched or completed. So let's say I do the first workout here. I'm going to click this ellipsis here. I can click mark as watched, and then it will have a check mark in it. So that just helps you keep your place a little bit better. So that's that. Yeah, and then you come down here and look at the comments, and you can see everyone else is doing this workout. You can see what is their experience. You can add your own experience. The comment section is really great just because it shows that it's not you by yourself doing this workout. So it's actually a community behind you. So I highly recommend using the comment section for a little bit of added motivation. All right, so that's the program, and that is the beginner program progression. The beginner's path. So let's go a little bit further down. This is a new section we have called focus. So we have focuses are for a collection of workouts based around a common theme, but not a program. So a program is a set schedule of workouts, and it generally has an accountability email series that goes with it. Focuses are collections of similarly themed workouts. So just if you want to work on something specific, like let's say you want to work on ankles, or you want to work on your posture, or you want to do poses that are only standing workouts, so you can come in here and you can see those. And some of them are broken up. Some of them have a bit more sections within them. So like this one does not. But if you were going to, let's say the weightlifting one, for example, then this one is going to have a few sections. This one has information and tutorials. Go further down, it has warm-ups. It also has recovery workouts. But anyways, you kind of get the point. So you can come into the focus section if you're looking for something specific that you want to focus on. And that just makes it a lot easier. So check that out when you get a chance. Moving down, you can look by duration. So the durations that we have here, you can look by 5 minute, 10 minute, 15, 20, 30, 45, and 60. And then there's, bit broken down. So like 3 to 7 is the 5-minute videos, 8 to 13 is 10-minute videos, and so on and so forth. But anyways, if you want to go by length, you can do that. We go a little bit further down. We have intensity. So we have 5 intensities in our workouts. 5 is kind of the extreme intensity. That's a more intermediate advanced workout. And 1 out of 5 intensity isn't necessarily a beginner workout. This is more so about super relaxed workout. And then 2 out of 5, relaxed, but a little bit active. 3 out of 5, kind of like most of our workouts in the 3 and 5 range. 4 out of 5, pretty high intensity, but not extreme. And 5 out of 5, extreme. So that's how you use that. This is brand new. So we created an intermediate program path and an advanced program path for this new version. So go in here, you're going to see a whole new set of programs for a progression. So once you finish the beginner program progression, you're going to come in here and follow this program. Again, moving from right to left, getting back into it, to essentials, to Quark, to better day, to intermediate 1, and then on to AM yoga for PM lifting. So if you add up how long it would take you to get through the program progressions, I think it's like 2.5 or 3 years. So there is a ton of programs, ton of workouts here to keep you busy, but also take you up in your skill level, right? So you're starting at level 1 and following along to these programs. You are going to get stronger as you're following along to the programs, and the programs grow with you. So that's something that's really cool. So there's the intermediate program progression. We've also got the advanced program path, right? So this is for our most advanced users, but that's available as well. And again, that's brand new with this app update. And then we going further, we have kind of the other sections. We have wellness, podcast, and more. So this is where you can listen to the podcast. You can also listen on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, or on YouTube, but we have it in here for convenience. And then we have wellness videos. We also have our Manful Yoga coaches videos in here. So they're going to do part of this update. We're going to have Manful Yoga coaches doing a live, a total of 3 live events every month. So one coach will do one presentation. And you can come in here and look at or you actually be able to see when those are coming on the calendar. So you'll go into the calendar, see that. Actually, Jesse just scheduled his. So his is going to be in April. So we'll go to April, for example. April, click over. And then you'll see Jesse's is right over here on April 18th. So if you want to join those, you go in and then you can add it to your calendar like that. So, once again, going back to the other things in here, we have the wellness podcast and more. And then further down, we have tutorials. This is also where we have our guest collaborations. We have a Ben Sears workshop series as well as a pelvic floor series. This one was really popular, this pelvic floor series, and there are a lot of guys in our community who have pelvic floor issues. That could be pelvic floor dysfunction, like urinary incontinence. Could also be sexual health, like inability to get an erection, premature ejaculation, difficulty with orgasm. So that was a really popular series here. So yeah, should know about that as well. And then further down, if you've purchased, further down, we've got kind of the index section. So you'll go to all workouts if you want to see all of the workouts. I will warn you, there are a ton of workouts here. I've been putting out at least one workout per week for probably, 8 years. So, you'll come in here and you're pretty much just going to keep scrolling. So the way that I recommend you use the all workout section is to come in here and kind of use it as a way to add workouts to your favorites or to add them to your calendar for use later. I would not recommend just coming into the all workout section to decide your workout for the day, because that can be overwhelming. By the time you finish and choose which workout you're actually going to do, you probably don't have any free time left to do the workout. So anyways, this is just to show you kind of the vast library that we have in here. And if you're watching on YouTube, these workouts are not on YouTube. This is a whole different set of workouts. So there, some of those workouts are on YouTube, but the longer workouts, generally if it's 20 minutes or up, it is not on YouTube. And then further down, we also have our all program section. So not all programs are in the program progression, but you can go in here to see all the different collections of workouts we have, right? So come in here and you can see all the different programs that you can follow, and a bit more variety than in the program progression. Again, this can seem overwhelming, which is why we have the program progressions in place, so that you can just follow a set plan instead of having to choose all of this yourself. But if you do want to go in and just see all that we have to offer, then you can go into these all programs and playlist section, or into the all workout section. And then further down at the bottom, if you've purchased any additional programs like Body by Yoga, they're going to show up here. All right, so that's that. I'm going to go into the questions and comments now and just see what's going on in there. So thank you for listening to that that monologue. All right. All right. And I see Richard has also been answering some questions in here. So thank you, Richard, for your help there. I love the new app. Only feedback is I'm doing the summer fit programs. It doesn't go into the last watch section. It should, as long as you have as long as you watch 15 seconds of the video. Exactly what I came to find here. Can you link the MFLIA calendar to a Google Calendar? You can, if you are in the web version of the app. So if you log into manfulyoga.tv on your mobile browser or on your desktop browser, you can add those events. You can add things to your calendar from there to your smart calendar. I don't think you can import the Manful Yoga calendar to a Google Calendar though, like linking that. How do we mark videos that we have done in the past so we do not repeat the same program soon? So I've gone through this a couple of times, but basically there are a lot of options to do this. You can, and I'll kind of go through that now. So I'll go back in here to do this. Demo, screen share. All right, so there's a few ways to do this. So if you want to follow, so if you want to do that, what you can do is you can add things to your calendar. All right, so you can add things to your calendar by clicking here, add it to your calendar. And then when you go into your calendar, you're going to find whatever workout that you added here, and then you can mark it as complete. So if this was a calendar, if this was a workout, for example, let's say I add this to my calendar. I'm going to add it to my calendar. Let's say I just finished this video and I want to add it to my calendar. Okay, I'll add it to the 25th, add to my calendar, and then I'll go over to the calendar, look for the 25th. Here it is. And then I'll click complete video. And then that will show up on my calendar as completed. The other thing that you can do is if you are following along to a program, most people are following along to programs, I would say. There are some people who just do ad hoc selections, but most people are following along to a program. So you would go into, let's say, a program here. You watch whatever workout, let's say I'm on workout 4. So I'm going to click workout 4 here. And then you just check mark it done. So once you finish this yoga pose essentials for absolute beginners, cool. You go over to this ellipsis button, you mark as watched, and it will show up as a check mark. So that's something that you can do. And again, you can also use the notes section here. So if you want to say like, just completed this workout, really enjoyed the stretch at the end, right? So you could do that. And then if you wanted to, you could go into the account section over here, and then you can see your notes, and then you can keep track of the workouts that you do that way as well. So there's a few ways that you can keep track of your workouts, and those are some of them. All right, let me check the questions again. Can we add an entire workout series to our calendar instead of one at a time? No, you cannot. Yeah, short answer is no. You're going to have to do them one by one, but it really doesn't take that long to do that. My recommendation is that you spend just a little bit of time at the beginning of the week, like so maybe on a Sunday, just going into the members area and planning out your workouts for the week, adding them to your calendar, and that will make it easy. Dean, your camera view is blocking the mark watch button every time you use it. Okay. Thanks, Richard. All right. So I'm going to scroll. I'm going to show this again, and then I'm going to scroll up a little bit so you can actually see the mark watch video. So check this out. So I'm going to scroll up. So here are my options below the video. I think I'm high up enough. So this is the video. And then right below that, you've got the title. Here's the notes. And then over here, this is where you have that option to click the mark as watch button. So sorry about that. I didn't know that you couldn't see that. But anyways, that is what that is. So, all right. Yeah, it looks like it's showing up there now. Okay, cool. All right, let's see what other questions. Thank you, Dean, for following for years. Very appreciative of your time and effort and your ability to repeat. Yes. I do that. Let me double back on my question yesterday as to how to add workouts to Apple Health. I don't know because I don't have Apple Health, so I don't know how to do that. I would be curious to see. I'm sure that other people have done that before. One thing that I might ask Michael, we'll have someone from our team look into this. Probably gonna be Richard looking into that. But I would post this in the Facebook group. So in the Facebook group, I would go into because we just have more people in there right now. I would go into the Facebook group and specifically ask people there, Michael, if there is someone who has linked their Apple Watch workouts with Manful Yoga, because we haven't built anything specifically for that, but I just don't know how that works. So yeah. All right, so I want to go through and show you some of the other things that we have in here, some of the other features. So I showed you the browse. I want to show you the community because this is really cool. So this is something new that we did not have in the previous version. So this is basically a forum that we can use. Right now we have it really simplified. We have it set up by general chat. We have an ask a question, and then we have share your workout. So this is a great way for you to hold yourself accountable, to see other people doing their workouts, to ask a question, or to just, talk. We do have a really supportive community. We have a very special community. It's not just about fitness. It's also about our wellness and our overall health and holistic health. So I really enjoy the conversations that we have here. This is a really great added feature of the new and improved numbers area that allows us to have this community section directly within our app and on all platforms. So this is really cool. Skipping over now, we're going to the calendar again. So I've showed you guys some of this already, but basically you can use this to keep track of your workouts, but also to keep track of things that are going on within Manful Yoga. So you'll come here to see live events, to RSVP to live events, and then we actually send you a push. I think the app sends you a push notification to let you know when we go live, which is pretty cool. So you'll know about it when we go live. All right, so that is most of what I wanted to cover in the walkthrough. If you guys have other questions, I would start answering them, or I would start asking them now. Yeah, I'd start asking those. So something else that I'll say is the app on your phone and the app that I've been showing you in the website does look different. So this isn't the best quality of image, but this is what it looks like on your phone. So instead of seeing those the buttons near the top of a menu, you're going to see these. You're going to see these. You're going to see the other things in the bottom part here. There also is a messages option here, so you can have conversations with people within the community here. We have the community section, so you can see, you can interact with the community there. And then the calendar section shows up there as well. So that's how you do that. There is some other things in the mobile version that you do not have in the web version. So some things to be aware of. You have custom playlists in the mobile app, which is really cool. So you go into your account, go into my playlist, and then you're going to see the option to have custom playlists there. So the way that you can create custom playlist is you're going to go into, whatever workout you want to add to there. So I'm just going in and I'm kind of like, all right, I'm selecting a morning focus. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to open up this random workout here. And then you have these options, these button options below here that allow you to do different things, right? So right below the video, you can see that share button, save, notes, and then you can also scroll over here. Oh God, what did I do? I hit something. This is very hard to do. But you can scroll over. So I scrolled over here. Right. So I need a stand of some sort. So you can scroll to this part here, these buttons scroll, and this pulls up other options. So this allows you to do mark as watched, add to calendar, notes, share, save to a playlist. So that's where you find all those other options here, right below. So I'd recommend using those. And then there are different casting features. So depending on what device you have, like in the upper corner, you're going to see the different casting buttons. So that makes it easy to stream to a smart TV, to add to, you can even do it to add to a desktop browser. So if you're watching on your phone and you have a bigger computer that you want to cast it to, you can do that. So there are lots of options there as well. So, I think there's other stuff within the app that I want you guys to know about. There are some subtle differences. Again, like I said before, I do recommend using the mobile app just because that's where you're going to find the most functionality compared to the web version. If you're looking to be able to see as many things as possible at once, it's a really good idea to spend some time on the web version, just because you're going to be able to see so much more on a big screen. Whereas if you're on the mobile app, you're only going to be able to see so many videos because it's a smaller screen. So if you're looking to see how much variety there is, use the desktop at some point. And if you are on the desktop version, you are able to add things to your favorites. So, just to highlight, one of the things that I might recommend you do once more. So if I go into so let's say I open up the home page here, all right, the browse page. I'm going to go we talked a little bit about this before, but let's say I'm picking out a few workouts for the week. I'm going to go into the all workouts section. And then from here, I'm just going to open up different workouts that I think are interesting, right? So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to say add to favorites. Cool. Add to favorites. I'm going to go back, see if I can find some other workouts that are interesting. This looks cool. I'm going to add this one, right? And then add to favorites again. So this is a way for you to, make selections of workouts to make this a little less daunting. And then you have a nice, favorite section that you can refer to. To see your favorites in the web version, you're going to go back to your home page, and your favorites is going to be this second row from the bottom. So you can go in here, click see all, and then you'll be able to see your favorites. So that's how that works. But yeah, in terms of functionality, you're going to see more on the mobile app. And then there also are some subtle changes between apps. So like we've heard about some differences between the Apple TV version and the mobile app. So there are some little things here and there to be aware of. And as you're learning how to use it, that should just resolve itself over time. So I'll say that. App seems going user friendly. Been following since COVID lockdowns. Is the messages icon on the app a way to converse with coaches, or if you have any questions about anything? Brian. So yeah, you can use that to talk with coaches. I recommend that you have conversations in the community section, though, in the public forum. Our coaches are available for one-on-one calls. So I guess you can message them. But most people, if you want to work with the coaches, then you would sign up for one-on-one calls with them. Yeah, I think, Ryan, the best way to get your questions answered, I would post them publicly in the community, because that way you get us, but then you also get all the other, feedback from other people who are probably have experience with you with whatever you're asking for as well. So, and then, yeah, like Richard is saying here, if you have other specific questions or you have technical issues, then always email help@manfulyoga.com for support requests. So, yeah. So it is my daughter's birthday today, and her little ad hoc birthday party is starting here in a few minutes. So I'm going to stay on for a couple minutes here and answer any other questions that come up. And then I am going to, go hang out. So Maylee turns 2 today. So I have a 2-year-old now and a 4.5-year-old, or almost more than 4.5-year-old, 5-year-old in June. So yeah, that's why I have all this gray hair now. I didn't used to have gray hair. I looked back at some photos from like 4 years ago, and I was like, oh wow, look at all that brown hair I had. It's gray and white now. Yeah, I'm gonna get there really quick. So, yes. Thank you for the birthday wishes, guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys are seeing just how much kind of work went into the app update. I already showed some of this stuff. But in addition to the new program descriptions, right? So I showed you guys this, but we kind of cleaned up the program descriptions and put the important info near the top. We also have new thumbnails for each item. So the thumbnail is the preview image that you see. We've simplified these so you can see everything that you need to know about the workout right at the front. You can see here's an older one. Right, here's an older thumbnail version because it has like more things on it. It had 4 different categories on it, whereas the newer ones only have 3. The goal with this new app really was simplification. So, I think there are 2 features that are not in this app that were in the previous app. The big one was the big one is the core stats feature. So that actually counted your workouts. We expect that there will be some sort of replacements for these. Right now, we do have a streak option, so that's something. Recognize it's not the same as completed workouts, but that is something. And then I think that we are working with the developers on this, and hopefully there will be some other, workout tracker things that are implemented in the near future. And then in addition to writing all new program intros, I also recorded new program intros. So I recorded a new video for every single program that we have. We also went back and we updated the descriptions for all of the programs and pretty much all of the new workouts. So you'll notice now that there is a much shortened, what do you call it? Much shortened description here, and then a longer description near the bottom if you want to read that. But yeah, it's there's a lot of work that went into this. And then I think the last thing I'll say is just recognize that this is not like we didn't actually get the ability to pick and choose all the different features that we wanted to have. So we basically use a service that creates an app for us, and we can choose some of the things. We can choose the layout, we can choose the structure, we can choose the filters, we can choose how it's organized, but we can't like create new features. We can't like they only have so much power over all of this. And really the big reason is for that is because number one, we want to deliver a really high quality video product for you. So the video is the most important part. But then number two is like, we're not a huge team. Like I don't have Amazon backing me, like I don't have $1 million to throw at developers. So, this is a really solid product and at a cost that allows us to, provide all the things that we're providing here. So I think I don't know, I would say as far as app goes, it's probably on the higher end anyways. It's I don't know why I'm saying all this. Point being, we put a lot of thought into this. And our goal is to make this the best experience for you guys that we can. So and if you have questions, come back in here, come talk in the community, ask questions there. We've all been answering. All of the Manful Yoga team have been pretty active in there over the last few days, answering questions. And if, all else fails, email help@manfulyoga.com. We'll get you sorted out. So if you're watching this and you're not already a member, go to manfulyoga.com/join and sign up. Free 7-day trial. Super easy to sign up. And then super easy to get started, right? We have this, it's a brand new process to getting started where you just watch a 2-minute video, tells you everything that you need to know, and then you go into your first workout from there. 15 minutes per day, 3 days per week can change your life, usually within a month. Seriously. So, all right, guys, that is everything that I have. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for being part of the Manful Yoga community. I'm looking forward to seeing you on other workouts. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.